Okay, it is November 29th, 2022. The special meeting of the Common Council for the City of Oneonta and hold on here and ask you to take the roll.
Mayor Grant,
Here.
Councilmember Murphy, Councilmember Davis,
Here.
Councilmember Risberger,
Here.
Councilmember Carson, here, Councilmember Carson,
Here.
Councilmember Hanson,
Here.
Councilmember Raptor,
Here.
Councilmember Bell. Here.
Sure. Pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we are here to hear from the public. This is a public hearing to receive comments on the city's tentative 2023 budget. And do we have anyone here who, I'm looking at you, is there anybody here who would like to speak? There you go, we just need your name.
Anybody else?
Can I hear it? Name and.
My name is Bob Holstead. I live at 3 Center Street here in Oneonta. I'm a native of Oneonta. And I appreciate the county or the city clerk rather giving me the hard copy of the budget a few days ago. And I want to commend both the finance people and Mr. Matthijs for putting together this document. It looked pretty intense and informing, and just have a few questions as I perused it. On page 1, we're talking about the armory. There's a plus $11,000 going to it. Then if you jump over to page 33, it details some specs about the armory, including a position that may or may not be part-time. I'm assuming it's a part-time position, and then this person works in other departments. I'm not sure how that goes.
You want me to use one?
Yes, Jim.
What that is, it's an allocation of a full-time employee that does certain number of hours at the Allison building.
Okay. My deeper question is, if this were a business venture and you owned it and you wanted to buy it, does the armory, the revenue stream, justify the expenditures? Which is higher or lower? Are there more expenditures than there are revenues coming in? In other words, are there some entities renting the gymnasium? I know there's a youth center underneath. I don't know, or used to be, whether they're paying any rent. So basically, are there revenue streams for the armory? I know there's expenditures. So I don't know. Have they ever done a financial on that?
We have the Greg.
Yeah, the expenditures certainly outpace revenues. There are revenues from renting the gymnasium,
But not much.
but not covering the revenue, the expenses.
Which raises a bigger question in my mind, why have it at all? The armory. Maybe, I mean, I know you, since you own it for $1 a few years ago, you've got to maintain the standards. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have utilities around the clock, telephone, maybe some heat to keep it in from the, the pipes from bursting, something like that. But I just question whether the Asa Allison building, the armory, is a necessary part of the budget. That's just my thought.
No, you got it.
I was just add that we are doing a study right now. We have a grant received from your state to study the building itself, do conditions assessment, and also look at how could that space be better utilized in the future. So that is something we're looking at.
I know there's some issues, I think, with your ownership of it, relative to other communities that have had armories in the past. For instance, Walton. I know the National Guard here merged with the group in Walton, and Walton had a very similar looking architecture-wise building, their armory, to the one here in Oneonta. When they merged, they built a new armory in Walton. But the old armory has passed through a number of private ownerships, furniture stores, restaurants, etc. So I don't know, the mechanics of what happened with that, but I know there's a precedent there for it going back into private venture. And maybe it would be helpful to explore that at some point in time.
Yeah, I think we all agree with you. But appreciate that very much.
Just three more things and then the public will leave. Page 3, there was a increase in the swimming pool area. And I was wondering, don't we have an arrangement with the Y to run the pool program? I'm looking up under culture and recreation, number A7180, went from 99.8 to 142. I don't know what that was, that 42,000 is for.
The main increase in the swimming pools is for needed repairs.
What was that again?
It's for needed repairs.
Needed repairs
Yes.
at that pool.
Yes, we have to repair some of the systems that run the pool itself and distribute the water, filter the sand out and things like that. That's what the main increase is there.
Okay, so we still have the arrangement though with the Y to run the program. Okay. Jumping to page 13. That's quite enlightening. The exemptions, I mean, I know that it looks to me like 54% of the people are paying the taxes and 46% are exempt, which is nothing new, except I never saw the numbers like that before. Which brings up, in some places, we used to have what were called pilots programs, payment in lieu of taxes. Do we still have as a revenue stream from Suco, Hartwick, maybe some churches or
We do, I'm gonna let you.
nonprofits?
Pilot agreements are only allowed to be administered by real property tax law. Nonprofits such as, or non-taxable such as the churches, the schools, are not eligible for legal pilot agreements. They're more for development. We do have a number of pilot agreements that we have for different developments throughout the city, and we do have a revenue source. It's a little over 200,000, about 226,000, I think, for 2023. And I just want to emphasize that 46% of the assessed value is exempt. But as far as the number of parcels in the city of Oneonta, it's about 233 out of about 4,000 parcels.
Does the college at Oneonta and the college at Hartwick give funds to the city then?
They give funds in different ways. It's not a direct pilot payment, but they give funds through our water and sewer billings.
Yeah.
And all the tax revenues that they bring in, all of the sales tax for, people being in the area, all of the jobs, all of the income, the disposable income from the people working at Suco and Hartwick and things like that. So, and we've talked about this before in budget meetings. If COVID proved anything, it's how vital the colleges are to our area.
There was some concern in the past with the when the students are in session and there's more activities downtown and their names are making the paper, that it draws more from the law enforcement and from the fire department, those services. And I thought they were going to increase their amounts of money or not?
I think what you're referring to is you probably heard conversations about possibly having a public safety fee on the college students, and the city attorney, who's not here tonight, has explained to the council that that is not a legal thing that we're able to do. The mayor will be advocating for us at the state level to increase our state aid that we receive through a formula-based distribution, and hopefully cities or municipalities that host SUNY or college residents will get increased in state aid to help cover the additional cost for having them in our area.
Okay, I like that. Now, if I read it right, on page 82, the code enforcement, it looks like there's an increase of 1.25 people, which I think in my own feeling is needed. Called as ordinance inspector.
Yes, we did add a position for code enforcement. that is going to allow the code enforcement staff to be, do more ordinance inspections, which
Yeah.
will have increased revenues and also increase safety.
Yeah, I'm a supporter of that. I think that particular office needed to get away from complaint-oriented work as opposed to trying to be more proactive. Looking at the code and what needs to be changed from their viewpoint or needs to be added. And so I think this might give them some more leverage and time to do such a thing. So anyway, that's all I have.
Well, we really appreciate your engagement. So thank you very much.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Do we have, go ahead.
I was just saying, thanks for coming.
Oh,
And AJ, I see you here as well. Is there anything that you?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just getting over a sore throat, so it's hard to sound like Vincent Price right now. I'm just curious, are places of worship exempt for paying taxes by any chance?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just curious, because I know I serve on my church board and I've been curious about that for years. All right, that's all the questions that I had.
All right, if there's no other, unless we've had questions from the staff, I'm presuming we may be done here. So, so with that, unless there's additional business or anything for council discussion, I'm gonna call this closed. And thank you very much again. And is there a need for executive session? In that case.